Hey guys, this is Buford with Scholarships for Soccer, and today we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Abigail Dropic. She is a star soccer player for the Thundering Herd of Marshall University. Abby, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're certainly welcome. Now, how did you get interested in Marshall, and did Marshall reach out to you first, or did you reach out to them first?
So I ended up going to an ID camp at Marshall. My parents and I were looking at all different colleges, and I went to a lot of different ID camps, and Marshall ended up being one of them. They were just one that we looked at, and we decided. So I ended up going to Marshall's ID camp, and from there I was able to talk to the coaches and commit.
Okay, and going back to high school, when did you start your recruitment?
I started my freshman year. I played ODP, club, and high school. And so through ODP, I was able to talk to a lot of college coaches and get some pointers because I went to the regional camp, and there you're with coaches who coach at different universities, and your state coach is also usually a coach from a university. So I talked to coaches through that, and then freshman year, I just kind of got ideas of it, and I went to some ID camps. I believe I went to the Marshall ID camp December in my freshman year, I believe, and then I ended up committing August before my junior year of high school.
Wow, so you committed a whole 2 years, but basically.
Yeah, I committed pretty early.
Okay,
and the second in my class to commit. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So at Marshall's a D1 school, obviously a high level of competition. About how many players do they keep on the roster?
It fluctuates. In the fall, we usually have, I'd say 30, right around 30. And then in the spring, we usually have, I'd say around 7 that end up graduating, and then someone might transfer or something. So in the spring, we probably have about 23, give or take, and then you have some injuries that are also there.
Sure.
So just about enough to play 11v11 at practices, but maybe a few less if you have injuries. But I'd say around 30 in season roster.
Okay, and what position do you play at Marshall?
I play outside back, usually outside left, but sometimes on the right.
Okay, is that what you played in club in high school?
Coming up in high school, I actually was a center back, and then towards my senior year, since I had talked to coaches and I had talked to my Marshall coach, they said, we think you should be outside back. So then I played outside back, and I played outside back for ODP when I was, I believe, freshman and sophomore year. But high school was center back until senior year.
Okay, and can you kind of take us through a typical day, say in season in the fall, time schedule wise?
So in season in the fall, if we're home, it's going to be, it depends what day, because our practices were different. But say we had a morning practice, you'd wake up, get to the field about 20-25 minutes before practice, get your gear on, get ready, go out, practice for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, come back, take everything off, shower, get to class, depends your class schedule. I usually have 2 to 3 classes a day. Do that, and then you do it all over again. But if you travel, that's different.
Now, being D1 and do you play soccer in the Big East Conference or?
We're Conference USA.
Conference USA, okay. So there's probably a good bit of travel going on.
Yeah.
So away games, did you have to miss a lot of class time?
Yeah. So my games were this past year were usually Thursday, Sundays. So we flew, I'm pretty sure, to every conference game. So we flew to Texas and Louisiana, and Florida twice. So we would leave Tuesday night, Wednesday, and then we would get back late Sunday or earlier on Monday. So most times it all depends where you're going, but I'd miss a handful of Thursdays and Fridays. And when we were home, I wouldn't usually miss anything because my classes were earlier in the day, so you were fine there. But when you traveled, you miss a decent amount of classes, so you definitely have to be on top of talking to your professors about that kind of stuff.
Okay. Now, during those times that you miss, how accommodating were college coaches with your academic schedule, and how accommodating were your professors with your athletic schedule?
Professors were usually pretty good. Every now and then you get one that doesn't quite understand, but they're pretty good about it. I mean, they have to let you make things up, and missing for athletics is a university excused absence. So anything you miss, they have to let you make up. And usually it was pretty good. And then coaches, they usually give you some downtime while you're there between when you're practicing there and when you go to dinner and stuff. They usually give you a decent amount of downtime. We always use a lot of time in the airport. We're always doing homework in the airport and while we're flying, on the bus, between locations. They're pretty good about it, yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite part about playing soccer in college?
Oh, my favorite part is probably being able to travel and have competition all across the United States. I mean, I've never had the opportunity to go to so many places and play. Usually you're just driving, but you fly everywhere. You get to see so many things, and you get to do it with people you enjoy spending time with.
Okay. Now, if you could give high school juniors and seniors coming up who are wanting to be in your position one day a bit of advice, what would your best advice be for them?
I would say to definitely look at all your different options, listen to what the coaches say, but also talk to the players and take into account things that they have to say, because they have a different perspective and they have the perspective that you're going to be having. So I think talking to players is really important, and taking those official visits and the unofficial visits, that's really important. And to find a school where not only soccer is a good fit, but also what you want to do in life.
Okay, it's great advice. Now, finally, what role did your parents play in helping you decide, helping you navigate the recruiting process?
They helped a lot. They helped me realize how important it was to start early and how important picking the right school academically was. They also helped me since I was so young when I did it, they helped me kind of maneuver through it and make pros and cons and understand this and that. And they helped me just figure out good questions to ask, what to take into account. They would help me make those profiles that they hand out at tournaments and stuff. But mine was mostly through ID camps because I was trying to go D1, and D1 college coaches, they recruit earlier. So my club team, most people were looking at going into college later than I was, so I was a little bit ahead of it. So they helped me because I wasn't really doing it with my team. I was doing it a little bit earlier than people were looking at it. They just helped me walk my way through it.
Okay. And finally, what are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in biology, but I also have a concentration in cell molecular and medical biology.
Okay, that's
yeah.
way over my head.
Me too.
So are you planning to go to med school with that, or?
I want to get a PhD in immunology. Yeah, that's the game plan.
Well, they could certainly use you with that right now.
I know, exactly.
Yes.
What I'm going to do.
Okay, well, Abby, I know you got things to do and you're busy, and I certainly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. And I hope one day we can talk with you again soon.
Yes, of course, anytime.
Thanks, Abby. Bye-bye.